Alright, this deck is called Persistence is Futile, and the main goal behind this deck is to use a lot of really hard to kill creatures, and there's a combo in this deck involving Persist. So Persist, this ability means that when this creature dies, it comes back to life with a -1/-1 counter on it, and once it dies with a -1/-1 counter, it no longer comes back to life. But when you have something, you can combo this with a bunch of stuff. So in this deck, the main combo is with Power Conduit, which removes a counter from a permanent to put a +1/+1 counter or charge counter. Basically, with Persist, you can remove the -1/-1 and put a +1/+1 on it instead. And what that means is that when the creature dies, it gets a -1/-1, and you can keep removing it every turn so that it can never really die. It'll just keep on coming back to life. If you use Power Conduit and any Persist creature, unfortunately they only made a few good Persist creatures, but basically I have it all of it. This is a completely white deck. So I play all of these in white. Safehold Elite, 2/2 for Persist. Kitchen Finks, the best Persist creature, 3 mana, 3/2 Persist, gain 2 life. And Heartmender, 4 mana for 2/2, each upkeep, remove a -1/-1 counter. So basically, if you don't have the Power Conduit, then the Heartmender can also remove the -1/-1 counter. So this creature by itself can basically last forever every turn. So if the opponent has to kill it twice basically to remove it in the same turn. Otherwise, it's going to come back to life and remove the -1/-1 counter. Okay, what else do I have in this deck? This is a pure white deck. I have a Pocket. This creature is also really hard to kill. Enters the battlefield as a 4/4 if it comes from Suspend. So basically it comes at a 1/1. When it dies as a 1/1, it gets Suspend. 3 turns later it comes back as a 4/4. If it dies as a 4/4, it'll come back 3 turns later, and then 3 turns later, basically it never dies. It never ever dies. It just gets suspended, and unless it gets removed from the game. So, annoying creature, and that's why I put it in. Cauldron of Souls makes any number of my creatures get Persist, obviously really good. Soul of New Phrygia is kind of new, but basically once you have 5 mana, everything you get indestructible until end of turn, obviously really good. Every permanent you control, even lands, get indestructible. So that's really good. Privileged Position. Other permanents you control have Hexproof. Hexproof means that the opponent can't target it with spells or abilities. Obviously, makes your creatures even harder to kill. So that's why that's there. I got Keldrunner Outpost to repeatedly make 1/1 soldier creature tokens, and Emir Skyruin also. And the reason I also have Ornreath the Vastwood because once a Persist creature dies, you'll notice that they're green and white. So when the creature dies, you can use this ability to cancel out the -1/-1 counter. So this by itself can also make those Persist creatures stay on the battlefield. And yeah, a lot of these things is just to make sure that some creatures at least stay on the battlefield and are really hard to kill. And the reason for that is because I have this card called Worship. So I Worship, if I control a creature damaged, I reduce my life total to less than 1, reduces it to 1, which means that if I have a creature and they don't kill this enchantment, then basically I'm invincible and they can't win the game. And once I have Privileged Position or something, they can't target Worship either. So yeah, if I have Privileged Position and Worship, then they're pretty much screwed because my creatures are really hard to kill. Okay, so the other stuff I have, Mother of Runes, really good card. 1 mana for 1/1, anything's getting protection from the color of my choice, really good card. Luminarch Ascension, basically if they can't do damage to me, which is really hard to do damage to me because of my reusable creatures, because my creatures never die, then this activates if they didn't make me lose life for 4 turns. And then after that, as my alternate win condition, 2 mana for 4/4 White Angel creature token. I can do that as many times as I have 2 mana. So that's a really good card for this deck as well. It's an alternate win condition. Ghostly Prison, again, really good card. Makes it really hard for them to attack me. Gift of Immortality. When a enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under my control, and then return this to the battlefield attached to the creature next the next end step. Okay. So yeah, that's really good as well. So that will make my creatures even harder to kill. And what else we have? Oblivion Ring, necessary because you do want to have some kind of removal in all of your decks. So this is the removal. Johnny Collar the Pride because, well, the +1/+1 counter cancels out the -1/-1 counter. So that's why I have that. Story Circle, again, makes it really hard for the opponent to do damage, and then helps out the Luminarch Ascensions. Heliod, Guard of the Sun. This helps me with my other creatures and also creates a reasonable source of 2/1 creatures as well. And Vigilance is really good for this deck as well. And this is indestructible, so again, indestructibility, you know, put it on my, I can put it on my Worship, I can put it on my Privileged Position and make it really hard for them to kill. Worship, talked about it already. Ajani Goldmane, use the +1/+1 counter effect again to cancel out the -1/-1. Elspeth Knight Errant to create some token defense. Commander Isha, flying protection from creatures, just a pretty cool card to have. Dawn Elemental, prevent all damage that we dealt to it, so really hard to kill. Glory, so when this thing dies, 3 mana from the graveyard. Creatures you control gain protection from the color of your choice. Really, really annoying, and makes your card basically makes all your creatures unblockable, and also really hard to kill. And also Glory is incredibly hard to remove unless the opponent has like Scavenging Ooze or something. Okay, Avacyn, Guardian Angel, again, really hard to kill this thing. Eternal Dragon basically never dies unless they're removed from your graveyard. And that's it. That's the Persistence deck. I think some other cards I can add is like White 8 or 8.5 Tails. That's another card that will make it really hard to kill. And basically just this deck just has a lot of hard to kill creatures, which is the whole point of it. And yeah, that is this Persistence deck. You'll see it in action soon. Alright, I am playing Legacy with my Persistence deck, and this deck has a lot of really hard to kill creatures in it. Of course, using the Power Conduit and Persist combo, so we'll see how this deck does against these players in Legacy. Alright. I know the Reliquary, alright. Safe on the late. Armadillo Cloak, interesting. Okay. 4/4 trample, nice. There we go. Get rid of that. Put out your pocket site. Another really hard to kill creature. Okay. He'll be back. Costly prisoner. Huh, didn't attack. That's weird. Didn't cast anything either. Indestructible. As long as you cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for forest or plains and put in the battlefield tapped. Huh. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for forest or plains card, put in the battlefield tapped. Okay. But it doesn't have trample, which is good. Happy about that. Ooh, worship. I'm going to put that out. This is my win spell, my friends. If I control a creature, damage I reduce to less than 1, reduce it to 1s, which that means that I pretty much have to, well, they pretty much have to kill all my creatures, which is going to be a pretty hard thing to do because my creatures are generally pretty hard to kill. So yeah. Yeah, that thing's going to come back again. Don't worry about that. Damage I reduce my life total less than 1, so they have to kill all my creatures somehow. I don't care if that thing's indestructible because it doesn't really matter, he doesn't have trample. Okay, I don't care about that. Gain 2 life again. Then I can put out Mother of Runes, Power Conduit. It's going to make it pretty hard to kill my creatures. Actually, even if they kill all my creatures, I can still generate creatures with Keldrin or Outpost. So since this land can continually produce creatures, it's going to make it really hard for them to kill off all my creatures, really, so that to kill the worship. But I have some indestructibilities, I have some privileged positions in this deck, which I can put out to make worship hard to kill. And then that's going to be a hard point for them because, well, it's going to be hard for them to reduce my life total to less than 1. Yep. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, they can only attack with 1 creature anyway. I got Ghostly Prison out. You can only attack with 1 creature, my friend. Oh, he did pay the mana. Okay, just realized that. Alright. It's fine, doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna remove a counter and put a +1/+1 counter here. There, I'll do it. Helios come into play. It's indestructible. So yeah, it's a 5/6 indestructible, and then can also produce more tokens, so that's good. Plus all my creatures have vigilance, which is awesome. Especially Mother of Ruins, because that means I don't need to leave her to use her ability. She doesn't have to tap. Indestructible. And then my Mother of Ruins can basically give protection to any of my creatures in case they need to live. So yeah, I don't see how they're going to reduce my life total to less than 1 unless they destroy the worship. They just somehow destroy my creatures. It's going to be pretty hard. Prevent all damage that be dealt to creature tokens you control. Interesting. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to creature tokens you control. Okay, so even though I can't do damage to his tokens, he can't do damage to me either. But at least my guys can get flying because... Well, actually, because I can give anything protection, that means they can't be blocked. So, yeah, I'm just gonna... Well, Elspeth can give my guys flying. Even if they have flying, I can get protection so they can't block them. So, yeah. That's pretty good. Pocket Set comes back. And Heartmender, another hard to kill creature. That's there. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm going to do this then. Pretty much a wrap, folks. Make this one get flying. Then I'm going to give this one protection against green, so they can't be blocked. So I really don't care if they can't take damage because they can't block me. Yep. That's right, they can't block me. Notice how not a single creature died yet. This is the first creature I ever played in this game, and it hasn't died yet still. Can't do anything about it, really. You can't do anything about it. Heartmender. Let's play that. +1/+1 counter. These get vigilance. Get it flying again. Basically it's dead. Oh, I forgot to give this thing protection, but oh well. 6/7. Right. Yeah. Could have finished him that turn. All I had to do was to give it protection, but oh well. He has to kill me this turn. Somehow. Oh. Okay, I don't get it. It's indestructible, so all he basically wants to do is populate. Okay. I guess he wants to go all in now. It doesn't matter, I have a worship out. Really does not matter here. Yeah, just attack with everything, it doesn't matter. I guess he realized it really does not matter. I could block them all and still survive. Yep, GG. GG, folks. Green. Give it flying or whatever, it doesn't matter, he's dead. Yep, and that's my persistence deck.